Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Episode 20 of the Third and 10 podcast is here. I'm Nate. That's Brian here to my right. Hope you guys had a great first week, basically, of college football, because week 0... Does week 0 even count? No, that's the thing. That's what I really
It's an
don't...
appetizer.
That
It's
makes
kind
sense.
of like if you're at a fancy restaurant and you sit down and there's like a bowl of bread in front of you. That's week 0. It's the bowl of bread.
That makes sense.
Because, you're like, all right, you go eat. You like the bread, but like you're not leaving like other than like some chain restaurants. You know what I mean? Like, man, that bread that's good. It's like now you're like, oh, the bread was good, but I like the main course week 1 a lot better.
Yes, sir, indeed. And speaking of week 1, a lot of great games over the weekend. We'll talk about your Irish in just a bit, as well as our other takeaways from college football. But today is also our first 3rd and 10 fantasy draft. It's going to be me, Brian, and a couple of friends of mine as well who will be participating in this draft. And it'll start in about half an hour from now. So once that comes, we'll make our teams and talk about them and explain why we made the picks that we've made. And we'll go from there. But let's get started because we don't have much time until then. Yeah, the Irish, baby. How about them Irish, Brian? I mean, 1-0, great start at Kyle Field. You guys defeated the Aggies. But this is all you, man. Just take it away, man. What your thoughts on the game? What happened? For those of you who didn't watch it, just tell us how it went, man.
I mean, it was incredible. Like, anytime the Irish get a big victory like that, it's always good. And it's especially good when you're sitting in your friend's house with 3 of your friends who all hate Notre Dame and think Notre Dame's overrated and all this stuff. They shut their mouths for the night watching Notre Dame dominate Texas A&M. And, I wrote all this. Notre Dame, the briefing, came out today at 3. Go on bellyupsports.com and check that out after the show. You can get a full breakdown, not just – but here's a Spark Notes version of what happened. First off, proven now that Notre Dame has one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the entire country, okay? That secondary on Saturday was unbelievable. I mean, Xavier Watts was big. Elise Shoto getting that interception that completely took the wind out of Wegman's sails. Like, after the interception, there was such a change on Texas A&M's offense where in the first quarter, it's like, okay, they're moving the ball down the field. This defense just has to play bend but don't break. They gave them some big yards, but we held them to a field goal. If we can do that all night and this offense can get rolling, we'll be fine. And then Wegman throws the interception. After that point, there was a change on offense. Wegman starts struggling, and this defense took that next step, all right? They held the Aggies to like 232 yards. It was only like 3.6 yards per play, only 100 passing yards. And yeah, the defense is exactly what we thought they were going to do. And the offense, did they have a great night? No, Riley Leonard didn't look great. The average stat line. But what you saw from Riley Leonard and the Irish offense was competing. They wanted to win that football game. They weren't going to roll over and die because, 4th down, we're done. No. Even though Riley Leonard clearly got the first down but didn't on that rush, you saw him in that pile. He was celebrating before he crossed that line. He was pointing first down. That's what I want to see out of some Notre Dame quarterbacks. I want to see the passion. I want to see the drive. I want to see this guy embrace Notre Dame and go, okay, I want to win for the school and the fan base. And that's what we saw out of Riley Leonard. So I'm very excited, and he's only going to get better as the offensive line in front of him develops and gives him a little bit more time to throw. Because let's face it, he was running for his life all night. That Texas A&M defensive line is great. Going up against that offensive line for the Irish, who has, basically no experience, only have no seniors on the line. I think only like 6 starts between all 5 of them combined. Like, that's not who you want going up against them. But as the schedule eases up, we'll see more explosive Irish performance on offense. But at least we know this defense can go toe-to-toe with any team in the country. That's the main takeaway.
All right. Yeah, I think for me, a few takeaways for me was that Jeremiah Love had a pretty good game, right? Had 91 yards rushing, had a touchdown.
I think that the winning touchdown, yeah.
There we go. And then Howard Cross had a couple tackles in this game, had a sack as well. So great to see from the Howard Cross's son. for the Irish. And then for the Aggies, man, Weekman 100 yards passing, 12 of 30, so not efficient whatsoever. Your defense really shut them down, man. And from a rushing perspective, you guys held your own against the Aggies
Yeah.
offense. So obviously, there were some positives that you just mentioned as well. What are a few things that you want you want to see from the Irish in their next game? Because I'm sure there was some concerns
Yeah.
taken.
I don't want to call this a concern, but the play calling was very conservative from the Irish. They didn't take a lot of shots downfield. It was very, short passes, gain a lot of yards. Like, I want to see this Irish team take a few shots, right? We brought in Chris Mitchell and Collins and transfer portal. Those are supposed to be two big wide receivers. And Riley Leonard, yes, he's a very dual threat quarterback and uses his legs a lot, but he can also use his arm. I want to see that arm talent a little bit. And maybe we were, the changing the game plan up, make it more conservative, more run based, because we were afraid of, how strong our offensive line is and how good that, Texas A&M defensive line is. And to know that if Notre Dame, takes a snap, we can't let that play develop because the line is so inexperienced. They're going to let up some things they really shouldn't, causing Riley to get sacked, and that could kill momentum. So maybe that's where it is. But when we're facing a school like Northern Illinois or when we're facing Navy, I want to see Riley Leonard take some deep shots downfield. If we can just get the deep ball in the passing game to the same level of a school like Georgia or Ohio State, there's no team the Irish can't not beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking at the statistics here. So Bew Collins had the longest reception for the Irish of 20 yards. I don't have the exact stat in front of me in terms of what the longest attempt for Riley Leonard was, but like you just mentioned, they got to just push the ball down the field, and that's what hopefully we'll see more from the Irish in future games. And at this point, the schedule wise, this was I think you mentioned it last time on our last episode, Brian. If the Irish won this game, the rest of the schedule is pretty favorable. You have Northern Illinois this upcoming weekend. You have Purdue. You have Miami, Ohio. You have Louisville and Stanford in the next 5 games or so. I want to make sure because I forget if I asked this last time, but you are pretty confident that because of this win, this was like the toughest game.
This is the toughest win before USC the last week of the season.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Next hardest game on the schedule. So Notre Dame could very easily be 11-0 going into that final weekend, and with a playoff spot pretty much locked up at that point. Because say Notre Dame goes 11-1, they'll have this great victory against Texas A&M on their resume. They've gone on an 11-game winning streak. Unless something crazy happens, like let's just hypothetically Notre Dame loses to USC. Let's do 31 to 24.
Okay.
11-1. Notre Dame still probably gets into that playoff spot, playing a hard-fought victory against probably a ranked USC team. And, beating Texas A&M in Texas A&M, hard place to play. They would probably get 10 on the road, but they would still make the playoffs, which is the main goal for this season, is just get in, right? Get in, and we can see what happens from there. Because I'm expecting more like BCS busters like we had back when we had the BCS, where you had smaller schools like Boise State going on and upsetting Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. Like, upsets are going to be more frequent, like we see in March Madness, and teams that you may not expect to go on a deep run will. So just make it to the dance, and we can see where we go from there.
Mm-hmm. And it helps on the schedule that you guys have like 8 straight home games from like September 28th to like the end of November.
8 home games and a bunch of neutral site games. It's I don't like people saying that Notre Dame doesn't play tough opponents. All right, which we do. We play tough. We play ranked opponents. This season, their argument has a little bit of validity. I will give you that. It is a very weak schedule for the Irish. Very weak. But hey, you know what? Some years, we were supposed to play University of Miami this year. They backed out on us. Florida State was a ranked game up until last night. They were the 10th best team in the country until they've got 0-2. They're still pretty good. So Notre Dame went from having 4 ranked opponents to only 2. Like, sometimes stuff happens, but we'll see in the future how the schedule goes with conference realignment and all that.
I mean, you play what's on your schedule, and
Exactly, yeah. I mean, sure, we make the schedule, but we have to set these games 5 years in advance. So
mhm,
yeah, when we set the play, we set play for a team like Purdue, the Big Ten team. We said that 5 years ago. So we don't know if Purdue's going to be ranked or they're going to be the worst team in the league. We don't know. We're taking a shot on that.
mhm.
That's one of the hard parts of being independent. But it's something I wouldn't want to change.
Mhm. I think that's the fun thing about being independent is that you can like kind of play whoever you want to play. And obviously the Irish aren't shying away from competition. Otherwise, both Massachusetts and UConn, who are also in the independent, would schedule easy opponents too. But you guys, like you just mentioned, you guys do play ranked opponents, and you know it's not your fault if Florida State isn't ranked by the time you guys play them. That's their fault, which they will likely stay unranked for the rest of the season after their.
They got much bigger issues to worry about than being ranked. Okay, they have to make sure that people aren't losing their jobs come January.
But yeah,
That fan's got to eat poop. He's got to eat dog poop.
yeah. What's going on with that? I wanted to cover that next.
So I saw this story on Thursday. There is a Florida State fan. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but he tweeted out, if Florida State loses at Boston College, he will eat a red Solo cup full of dog crap for the next home game. And I immediately went to my gambling app and immediately placed a bet on Boston College to win because it's a poop game. How can I bet against a poop game? Like if I was on a football team and I knew that an opposing fan had a chance to eat poop if I beat their team, bro, I'm motivated. All right, that's all the motivation I need. Nothing's gonna stop me from winning. I need to see this man eat poop.
And I assume, obviously, because Boston College won last night, he's kind of gone off the grid.
He has deleted all social media and completely gone off the grid.
Cold Iron here. What's up, my guy? Says gross. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's gross, but it's funny.
Oh yeah, but why would you risk that though? That's the thing. Like, come on. We saw what they did against.
Simply consequences. Your actions have consequences. Is what this is. This man is going to learn a lesson. Don't make stupid bets like this. And now the whole internet is after him.
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet. I think this morning. I'm not sure if it was him, but he was like, "Stop bothering me. I'm not gonna eat it." But I'm like,
yeah, I have gone on. I fell for that too. That's a fake account.
Okay.
Or it could be account. It could be a second account he made, but I got like the Twitter, like the
the little note thing.
Yeah, the community apps. I love the community apps. They're the favorite. There's one time the community app, like someone posted something really wrong, and someone said like community app, and the community app just said, "We're trying. There's too much. There's too many of this. This guy's wrong." Like it was just like that simple. Like I love this.
But he better do it though. Seriously, I think if you
he could curse Florida State. It could be a curse.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's what I don't understand is okay. So I get they lose to Miami in week 0 or whatever. Miami was great, by the way. Shout out to Cam Ward. He played. Dude, he's good.
No, Florida lost to Miami. Florida State lost to Georgia Tech.
Oh yeah, wrong thing. Oops. I'm too ahead of myself. We'll talk about Miami in a bit. So they lose to Georgia Tech. Florida State did. So my apologies. Ugalele, however you want to say his last name, looked like crap. Comes into this game. I assume it's Boston. This is what I'm assuming. Like I said, I don't know much about college yet, but I'm getting there. I assume Boston College ain't like Georgia Tech. So I'm like, okay, Ugalele will be fine. No, he's worse. So I'm like,
he is.
What is going on? I don't understand. This guy used to play at Clemson, right? Went to Oregon State, did all right over there. Comes to Florida State. Everyone thinks they're going to win the ACC. And now they're 0-2. So what is it about Florida State, in your opinion? Is it the quarterback? Is it the coach? Is it the
I think it's coach. Because if we look at Mike Norvell and we look at his record, along the ACC kiddie pool and staying out of the defense, I mean, hey, Florida State is currently suing the ACC to try to get to the SEC, okay? I think that's a funny thing to remember about all this right now is Florida State and Clemson are doing everything in their power to get to the SEC because that's what they want to be. They might need to take a detour into the Big 12, but if you gave them truth serum and said what you could magically pick what conference, they would pick the SEC. That's where they want to be. These two teams have no business being in the SEC at all. Okay, Florida State has been a disaster for years. Mike Norvell they have not been good since Jimbo Fisher left them. All right, since Jameis and Jimbo left them, Florida State has not figured out. Clemson needs to fire Daboll Sweeney. That's the only way they're gonna ever be good again. And that's not an indictment on Daboll Sweeney. He's a great college coach. He built a dynasty at Clemson. The problem with Daboll is the game has passed him on. He is refusing to use a transfer portal, and that's just something you have to do in 2024. You can't build your team just off recruits now. There needs to be some transfers coming in to fill in the gaps when your seniors leave to when your highly touted recruits come in. That's what Notre Dame has done with their quarterback situation. They knew they had C.J. Carr coming, so they have, okay, Ian Book's our starter. He graduated. We're bringing in Jack Cohen, Sam Hartman, and now Ryan Leonard. And now C.J. Carr should be ready next season to come in and start.
Okay.
Florida State, it's definitely Norvell. His record without Jordan Travis is like 2-10. Something's off with him. So if Florida State fires him, then they can kind of start being good again.
Can they save their season still?
What do you mean by save their season?
In terms of, they were picked as somewhat favorites to win the ACC. Can they still
Well, they're definitely not going to win the ACC. They're 0-2 right now in conference play. Like, they still got some hard games coming up. So next week they'll play Memphis. I figure they'd be favored in that game. They have to play Cal, which would be a toss-up. SMU, again, toss-up. We don't know what Clemson's going to be. They still have to play Miami, which is pretty good. They have to go into South Bend and play Notre Dame, and they have to go and play Florida. Florida will come play them the last week of the season. So it doesn't look good for them. If they can finish this season, if they can rebound, go 8-4, that's a giant win for them. I don't think they will. I think this team is going 4-8, 3-9.
So playoffs are like out of the question.
Playoffs are out of the question right now. Yeah, even if the only way Florida State can even make the playoffs is if by some miracle they win the ACC, which is not going to, unless the ACC crashes this year. That's not going to happen.
Alrighty. Well, I think, I ain't gonna lie, Ukulele looks like crap. So he's on his third school for a reason, and that's all I got to say. Couple shout outs to a couple players. One of them's Cam Ward. I love that guy. He's Jared, who I join on the corner booth every week. He's, that's his team, Miami Hurricanes. And Ward looks like a pretty good quarterback. I'm just saying he should be on the Giants' radar next
Bingo.
year. Yeah, he's a good one. He's very nonchalant, but he makes his throws look so effortless. He's someone to monitor for sure. And
kid from Ole Miss too. Jackson Dart.
He looks like a lot of just talented prospects the Giants have to work with.
Through.
Yeah, except Klubnik. God forbid. I don't know if he's eligible this year for the draft, but
I don't know, but I really don't think they'll draft him.
Thank God. He looks like man. Georgia said hell.
And he was supposed to be the savior of Clemson. He was going to be the one to turn it all around.
Yeah,
it didn't work out, but they had him. Oh, that's not working either?
The downside of Clemson needs to be studied by someone one day. It could be us, but one day.
Sweeney not adapting to the new world of college football. Nick Saban was smart and got out because he was starting to get hurt by it.
Mm-hmm.
Daboll just might stay in a little too long. And the worst part is this stuff happens in sports. All right? Legends lose touch of the game. Bill Belichick lost touch of the game. All right? We saw that last season when Belichick went. I forgot the Patriots went this year, but Belichick fell off, and we're just seeing right now Daboll Sweeney fall off. So, is Clemson done and not going to succeed under Daboll Sweeney? I would say right now, yes, but who knows? Could they go out and get a star quarterback? We saw what this team could do when they had a Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence as starting quarterback, all right? And everyone thought DJ was the next guy. And in that Notre Dame game, he started during the COVID season when Trevor Lawrence had COVID and DJ had to start. We saw a pretty decent performance out of them. Now, unfortunately for him, it didn't work out, and now it's not looking out for Club Nick to work out from either. But I'm just saying that Dabo either needs to really nail these recruiting classes, or he needs to spin it and start getting recruits in here, because that's the only way this Clemson team is even going to remotely be back to the team it once was.
Yeah, I do want to mention also the 17-year-old receiver from Alabama. 2 catches, 130 plus 2 touchdowns. Yeah, when I was 17, I was still in high school playing regular, varsity football. Meanwhile, we have 17-year-olds like, I think his name was like Ryan Williams, I think, catching balls from Germinaro for touchdowns. Makes me think I was a failure. I ain't gonna lie, Brian.
Oh yeah, every time it makes you feel bad about yourself. every single time you're like, oh, that kid was 17. Like, girls at 17 and failing. like this kid's catching touchdown passes, going to be the star of campus. At 17, I was just like yelling on my couch at a Mets player for watching a called third strike that I wouldn't even hit even close to. This kid's going to be the star wide receiver for Alabama. Yeah, I failed.
Yeah, no. It's all good, man. We're here. We can talk about these players and have fun with this. So, isn't too bad over here at our age. But before we get to our fantasy draft, we'll touch in about 6 minutes.
Right now. I don't know about you. Life's great.
Life's good, man.
Football's back. Football's back. The Mets are in a playoff chase. I'm doing fine right now.
Speaking of football being back, week 1 does start this week on Thursday, actually, with the Chiefs and the Ravens. We'll have our Giants breakdown later on this week for you guys as well. Give our predictions for the season in terms of our the record, and then previewing that Minnesota game, which is this Sunday. How excited are you, Brian? I'm so happy.
I cannot wait. I've already got my plans. I'll be at MetLife Stadium at 8:30 in the morning, right when the parking lot opens.
No way, you're going.
I'm going to the game. Yep.
Congratulations. Let's go.
Yes. Very exciting. Very exciting. Like always. Going to party at my parking spot, go and watch the game, and have a great time.
Heck yeah, man. We'll have fun there. Take pictures, of course. And then we'll give our previews and stuff like that for the game later this week. But Ravens and Chiefs kick off this Thursday. Eagles and Packers on Friday, which is a bit of a weird one considering it's on a Friday, but excited for that one as well. It's just here, I don't even care what day, as long as it's here, which is finally, as we waited so long for this. But we do have.
There's no football tonight. All right. Like, I got the Mets on. I got the Mets on right now, but they're done at 10. I don't know what I'm going to do after that.
Sports Center. I don't know. But here's the thing: a couple of news from the Giants, though, we want to discuss before we head to the draft, and we'll have the draft screen for you guys here to follow along. Adoree Jackson, we talked about multiple times. The Giants need a corner. The Giants need a corner. The Giants need a corner. They finally got a corner. Adoree Jackson is back with us. Your thoughts on that, Brian?
I love it. Yep. I love it. I said when the tweet came out that the Giants are going to be active in the market, I'm like, watch safety and watch secondary, watch running back. And this is the Giants going after a player who they have familiarity with, who knows generally what the system is going to be. I know it's going to be a little different now that Shane Bowman's DC and not Wink Martindale. But from what I've seen, it's a very similar system, so it won't be too hard for him to pick up. But great signing, another veteran in that very young secondary to be kind of a leader on the team. Be that mentor to the young guys and have them develop into better corners and safeties.
Less pressure on Cordell Flott, less pressure on Drew Phillips. Phillips is expected to be that slot corner regardless of what happens. But, in the event that we didn't sign Adoree, they would have likely tried Phillips on the outside, which is not to his comfort. But thank God Adoree's back. I don't think we have any contract details as of right now, but we'll get it for you guys.
It's later. Probably a 1-year deal, league minimum.
Makes sense. I mean, no one else was going to
sign
him.
I haven't seen any details either, but if I had to guess, no details have been released this long. It's probably something like that.
Uh, well, no one else really wanted him, and why not come back to a team you, like you just mentioned, have familiarity with, back with Shane Bowen, who they worked together back in Tennessee. So just honestly, I'm happy to see him back. I think he took over number 2021, I believe, in honor of one of his high school teammates, if I'm not mistaken. But
Love that. Love when your number has a story behind it. Like Ray Lewis, like you say whatever you want about Ray Lewis. Having being 52 because he used to do the deck of cards story is one of the coolest stories in football.
100%. He's a legend, man. What Ray Lewis is. Let's see. A couple other things. Brian Daboll, no surprise, we'll be calling plays for the
Shocking.
Giants. Oh, we're so surprised.
He's been saying that for the past 3 weeks.
I know, like he's been saying it, but like on the low, not officially saying it. But today it was announced that he is officially calling plays. You mentioned it before. You love that he's doing it. Why not have the guy who's it is his playbook, so might as well let him call the plays. So excited to see him. Hopefully, a lot more explosive play calls this upcoming season, especially with the weapons the Giants have. And speaking of weapons, Malik Nabers. Honestly, shout out to the Flaherty family for unretired or letting him wear number 1. It's crazy how a rookie can not even play a snap in a regular season game and have a number unretired.
I mean, it's huge. It also puts a little bit more pressure on Nabers to be good because you can't be known as the guy that unretired a number and flamed out. All right, you can't be that guy. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, look, even said he said himself, he was like, he understands the sort of pressure, not I guess sort of the pressure that he has on him to perform, and the Flaherty family was like, yeah, look, hopefully that number's retired again, and we hope so too. That means that Nabers did have a pretty good career with us, and everything starts this week. Number 1 looks really good on him, though. I gotta say, once I saw that, him revealed, I was like, yep, this is the number.
I will admit, Labor Day weekend, everyone knows what 20-year-olds do during Labor Day weekend. I was a few in and had not great decision. I was this close buying a Nabers jersey. This close.
Dang it!
Didn't do it, but I was this close.
We both got to do it. We both got to do it for sure, or at least get one new jersey this week. This season, I gotta say.
I my Saquon jersey, so I do need a new jersey.
Yeah, me too. I have too many Saquon stuff, so I gotta take them out. And
it was weird. I lit mine on fire, and we found pieces of it in the yard still the other day. I'm like, oh, memories.
Oh my god. Well, that's it. We'll discuss more Giants in our next episode. But as of right now, our fantasy draft is starting in about 15 seconds. Look, I have the 7th pick. Brian, you have the, I believe, the 6th pick. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really. If we reveal who we're choosing, then that just ruins everything. So we'll see.
It really does. Really does.
Didn't know that sound was gonna go off.
Really amping up their game here, huh?
Man, ESPN, I tell you, man, they're doing their thing. But 8 people in our league this year. It's me, you, a few of my friends as well from high school, and their family is involved as well. I think a few of them have family members in here. As the draft is off to a flying start. Christian McCaffrey goes off the board, and wow, we're okay. Well, this is fast. Hey,
the funniest name I've ever seen in my life.
We gotta slow down, gentlemen. Jesus. McCaffrey goes 1, Tyreek 2, CD 3. Man, y'all gotta slow down for us real quick, man. Damn. But yeah, so
Young Hoku is amazing. That's an incredible name.
A lot of creativity with the names this year by the members of our league. I tell you. Your pick's almost after Ernie goes here. Your selection is up. What are you thinking? Running back or receiver? Who are you?
I just want to. Is this PPR or no?
This is PPR. That is correct.
All right, so I definitely know who I'm leading to. I got a couple choices here.
Okay, the guys you want are still on the board. That's good.
Yeah, I have 3 players in mind right now. 2 I'm kind of leaning towards more.
Okay. Yeah, it helps it helps that we have, obviously the 1 quarterback spot on the starting line. We have 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, and because it's an 8-team league, we just had to go with 3 flex spots just to, make it more.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah. Extend, get scoring higher, and also when you're in 8-team leagues, it makes the waiver wire kind of not realistic as Bijan
Yeah.
goes. So all my boys are on the clock here.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well,
That's like, I mean, I probably won't get both of them, but I'm going to go with Mr. Justin Jefferson. I mean,
okay.
some people have him going 1-1. Some people, he was one of the best fantasy players last year. I know the quarterback situation isn't great with Sam Darnold, but when you have a player like Justin Jefferson right there, you can't not go after him.
Mm-hmm. And look, Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold, and of course he's on his third team now. But at the end of the day, Jefferson is the best receiver in the league by far, and I don't think Darnold. His job is easy: just get Jefferson the football, and he's going to produce either way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So my guy's still on there. He's to me the most consistent receiver, both last year and heading into this season. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love him to death, dude. He's very
love it,
man. Thank God he was still there. I thought maybe the guys in front of us would have taken him, but thankfully he is still there, and I got him. Excited to see what he can do with Detroit this season. Once again,
Puka going 8.
Let's see. Oh, our guy Easy from the radio show.
And Travis Etienne. I love Travis Etienne in this draft. I'm telling you, I think he's going to be really good this season.
Jacksonville doesn't excite me, and I don't know why that is.
There's so many question marks around them. It's like they're not like, yeah, they could be a playoff team, but like they also could just completely implode.
Yeah,
we don't really have a beat on them,
Mm-hmm. No, I totally understand. Yeah. So, I'm thinking. I mean, it feels like a curse to do it, but then again, I don't know. In my previous drafts, I don't tend to go running back. I waited on running backs to like the middle rounds, and it hasn't gone too bad. But it would be nice to get a running back this early. We got 10 seconds. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Taylor, obviously the RB1. I was gonna go Saquon.
Oh, let's go.
I was scared about Saquon.
Both players I wanted.
Jamar Chase. Okay. Why are you scared about the contract stuff?
Not really. I think they'll figure it out. Yeah, I think they're gonna prioritize. Like, I know we didn't see a lot from T. Higgins, but I think they know how important Jamar Chase is, especially the connection to Joe Burrow. This is going to be something they want to hammer out and get done with.
Okay. Alrighty. Ernie here goes with Saquon Barkley. So my friend Isaac is on the clock now. Let's see what he goes with. Yeah, Isaac, he's one guy. We go back to elementary school and high school. He's someone we were in a fantasy basketball draft in the past, and we always talk about the James Harden stuff. It's a long story, but he goes with AJ Brown here. Obviously, we're not Eagles fans, but from a fantasy standpoint, AJ Brown is the wide receiver number 1 in Philadelphia. So, great selection.
Great pick. AJ Brown is might be the one Eagle. Maybe him and Jalen Hurts are the only Eagles I would consider taking in a fantasy draft like this.
Not Saquon, not a Devontae Smith. Those two don't really.
I mean, like Devontae Smith, I think is a good receiver, but like I just couldn't personally root for him. Like, he was drafted by the Eagles. Like, I'm good. The Eagles, burned us by trading up with the Cowboys to jump in front of us. The story behind Devontae Smith, the Eagles, is just one that makes Giants fans blood boil.
So they really hate us, man. They really hate us.
You know what? It's a mutual feeling. I know we're supposed to be impartial and unbiased. I'll do that for the 31 other teams in the league. I hate you, the city of Philadelphia, and I will until the day I die. And even then, the generations after me hate you as much as I do.
Your future kids will be raised to hate the Eagles.
Yes, exactly. The word Philadelphia will be a curse word in our household.
Oh my God! As we're approaching the end of round 2 here, in the previous pick, Big Baller Crocodiles, my guy Josh, he goes with Marvin Harrison Jr. from Arizona. Obviously, great pick there. Even though he's a rookie, he's obviously going to be the main target for Kyler Murray. Him and Trey McBride will dominate Murray's attention for most of the year because there's so much uncertainty behind Harrison in terms of receiver room. You have Greg Dortch, which is not really a promising thing to say in Arizona. So Harrison definitely going to take up a lot of the targets there in Arizona. As day drinkers here goes the Derrick Henry and Chris Olave.
Interesting.
Yeah, Olave, obviously, wide receiver number one in New Orleans, but the Saints, they have Derek Carr, and when you have Derek Carr, it's not the most exciting thing in the world to
No.
have. And I mean this with much respect to our guy Easy here, who is a Saints fan, but yeah, sorry New Orleans, things don't look very promising over there.
No.
And he also Big Baller Crocodiles goes with Josh Allen, first quarterback off the board here in round 3.
Wow.
I don't blame him. I really don't. You might as well get your quarterback now. Josh Allen is a dual threat guy who has been finishing as like the top leading fantasy quarterback for like 3 of the past 4 years, and it makes sense. He's obviously great arm, can make plays with his legs and whatnot. So great selection there. Gibbs goes after Allen, followed by Kyron Williams and Isaiah Pacheco. Injury concerns with Kyron Williams, but Brian, as your pick is up here, who are you gonna go with?
I'm kind of forced to take a running back here because I went receiver back to back. I don't want to be like a no one at receiver. So little bit of a reach. Mr. Cooks from Buffalo. James Cooks. James Cook. I think Buffalo took a very big hit with wide receivers. I think we might see more running games coming out, meaning more touches for Cook. I think we'll
be okay. Okay. Oof. Okay. I'm gonna go with Mr. Consistent. I'm gonna get another wide receiver here. I'm gonna go with Mike Evans. No matter who's at quarterback, he always gets 1,000 yards. Always, dude. Always gets 1,000. Insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with
consistency.
Yeah, I love that. Let's see. Oh, Devontae Adams goes off the board to end round 3, heading into round 4. Let's see what 16 thinks here. As he goes with Rashad White, so he will wait on a quarterback as well. I'm debating on doing the same, as there's a lot of intriguing options left on the board here, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and get tight end out the way. Can't go wrong with this guy, obviously, Mr. Kelsey himself. Kind of
Kelsey's boyfriend.
Yeah, a little bit of concerns with the receivers in Kansas City, but they have talent there. Obviously, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and whatnot. But Travis Kelsey is just Travis Kelsey, and him and Mahomes have a great rapport. So, all right, Brian, what are we thinking, bud?
40 seconds. We have a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Could go for the safe play and get another running back. And there's a very consistent running back sitting right here. But this is PPR.
It is.
PPR, so that means receivers are of value. I'm going to go Michael Pittman Jr.
All right. Okay.
I think he's underrated. I think he'll get some passes. I was torn between him and another wide receiver 1 that's still sitting there, but maybe he'll still be there at 38. He shouldn't be, but maybe he will be.
We'll see. We'll see what the guys in front of us decide to do with their teams. I kind of have a feeling who you're talking about, but we'll see what happens. You just let me know when the guy you're talking about goes off the board. As Drake London goes to Ernie here after your pick of Michael Pittman. So Isaac's is on the board. Looking at Isaac's team so far, has 2 great running backs with Breece Hall and Kyron Williams. AJ Brown was his receiver right now, so we'll see what he decides to go with. A lot of intriguing options on the board still. Nico Collins, Malik Nabers, Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs, DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk recently got re-signed with the 49ers as Isaac goes with Deebo Samuel.
We all wasted a month of our time with Brandon Ayuk. Like, oh, is he going here? Is he going here? Oh, we just re-signed and we all just wasted a month of our lives.
Yeah, pretty much. Same thing with Trent Williams too. Apparently he re-signed with his contract got restructured because there was some fears that he was going to sit out to start week 1. Very major concerns. And all of a sudden, as of today, or as of early this morning, like very early this morning, he was on a flight back to San Francisco to sign this restructured contract of his. So apparently he was motivated by the fact that his teammate got shot, Ricky Pearsall. That was his motivation behind signing that contract, which in a way, I guess.
Which, by the way, scary situation. Sending prayers, hoping everything best for that young man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Obviously, he was trying to. He was at like some fan event, and some 17-year-old who, ironically, is from my hometown of Tracy, California, decided to. Yeah, way to be on the news, Tracy. Yeah, thanks.
Way to, the pride of our community.
Exactly. It's like you would think
Wide
like it would make the
receiver.
news for good stuff, but no, apparently not.
Nope, tragedy.
Tragedy, I know. But it's all good. Thank God Pearsall's okay. He is out of the hospital, but he will miss the first 4 games of the season for San Francisco. So obviously prayers to him and his family, and hopefully definitely makes a full recovery here. As after Debo, Alvin Kamara's off the board, Josh Jacobs off the board, and Nico Collins rounds up round 4. We head to round 5 now. We'll see what Day Drinkers goes with here. Obviously, a lot of quarterbacks still on the board. Of course, one of our favorite receivers are still on the board as well. But he'll likely be off the board by the time I come around, or by the time you come around as well, Brian. I feel like you know who I'm talking about, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, he was the guy I was talking about earlier. I was debating taking him before.
I know.
Right there. He's actually
right.
not gonna, because Ernie's auto drafting, so he'll be. If he doesn't get picked next 4 picks,
he's
on Ernie's team. So we're not even gonna get a shot at him.
Darn auto picks, man. They're always a curse. Because so DJ Moore goes off the board here to start round 5. Josh is up here. We'll see who he goes with. Josh already has his quarterback. Was the first team in this league to get a quarterback. So we'll see what other. So he goes with Patrick Mahomes. So he goes with 2 quarterbacks. Definitely a strategic move there.
Strategy.
I feel like I know what he's trying to do. But CJ Stroud goes after. So quarterbacks going off the board, man. This is a little bit scary. I was hoping Mahomes would fall to me, but it's all good, man. I understand what he was trying to do. Josh there trying to maybe, get a trade going with one of the members over. Like we'll see what happens. But
it's a bold strategy, but it doesn't always work out the way people. Yeah, there goes Nabers. It doesn't always work out the way people hope.
Exactly.
I'm gonna kind of buck the trend here. Where did he go? There he is. Going with Kenneth Walker III to round out my running backs.
All righty.
Feel very confident with that pick.
All right. So I know usually it's a curse to do it because they're a rival, but look, because the quarterbacks are off the board, I gotta get one too, and he is the best one out of the remaining ones. I know I could wait a little bit, but I don't think I should. I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts. Obviously, tush push, great weapons around him. I think he'll be just fine. And I know he's an Eagle, but for fantasy purposes, I gotta do it. Jalen Hurts is my pick. I got my quarterback though at least, so I'm chilling. As a 16, or it's not 16, but easy here. The radio show goes with Joe Mixon to round up round 5. We head to round 6 now. As we're going around and see what Easy goes with here. I don't think Easy has a quarterback just yet. Maybe he goes with one here. No, he waits and goes with Sam Laporta. Whew. Okay. This is tough because I could go receiver again, and he is back with the team, and Ayuk is. But I'm gonna go with the speedster. I'm gonna go with Devon Achane, man. He had that great game last year.
I love it.
Yeah, he's a speed. I love him. He's fast, dude. Miami's just a fast offense, so he should get his points there. But here, round 7, Brian, you're round 6. Yep, you're up. What are we thinking, buddy? What are we thinking?
I definitely can wait on quarterback.
Okay, yeah, I would say so.
So I'm going to shore up tight end and get the 3rd best tight end in fantasy, in my opinion. Mark Andrews.
Very smart. Very smart. Because, after those 3, I know there's, obviously Kittle out there as well, but the drop off in tight ends kind of starts after.
I like Jake Ferguson, but I don't like him as my everyday starter as a tight end. I like him as my plug and play guy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So Trey McBride goes off the board as well after DK Metcalf. Does Cooper Kupp just went off the board as well. The Rams concern me a lot, though, Brian, I got to say, because I know Puka missed some time last season and also this year's in the offseason and preseason as well. Cooper Kupp has injuries, concerns. Matthew Stafford's old, and Kyren Williams.
Kyren Williams is going to be a punt returner. That's always just concerning from a football standpoint, especially fantasy, because there's so many injuries that happen on kickoff and punt returns. I think majority. I think 50% of concussions come from kickoffs. I know that's not what Kyron's going to be doing, but it just shows you that those are the two most dangerous plays and where the injuries come from. So I tend to stay away from people having big roles in special teams.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole Kyron Williams punt return thing. He is your RB1, and I know you drafted Blake Corum, but at the same time, Kyron is your RB1. So don't know what Sean McVay is thinking. I know he's a smart guy, but this is not to sound disrespectful. This is kind of a stupid move to put your RB1 at punt return.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, it's a questionable move. It's definitely a head scratcher, but there's a reason why he gets paid the big bucks to be a coach and why we're sitting here drafting fantasy teams.
Fair enough. George Kittle and Evan Ingram round out round 6. We head to round 7 now. Plenty of great players still on the board. Obviously, when you're an 8-team league, definitely a lot of players in the middle rounds here. So we'll see what Day Drinkers goes with here. So far, your thoughts on your team? You feel pretty good?
I'm loving my team right now. I got two possibly potentially wide receiver 1 and 2 in fantasy, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I got Kenneth Walker and James Cook. Not the best running backs, but definitely two solid guys going to put some points up. No quarterback yet, but there is someone in the 6th round and the 7th round I definitely can pick up here. Mark Andrews at tight end, love it, and Pittman Jr., just a reliable guy at flex. We'll figure a team out from there.
Alrighty. Yeah, for this year, our fantasy league isn't for money, but we are thinking about doing like a last place punishment type thing. Brian,
definitely.
I know I think we've seen on social media last place punishments by people and stuff like that. What's like the worst last place punishment you can think of that you've seen on social media or just in general from thinking about it?
I think like the 24 hours in like a McDonald's has to hurt, or like Waffle House. Not from like, I think this is sort of like the uncomfortability, like, oh my god, I'm in a McDonald's for 24 hours, and like I kind of feel bad just sitting in here with these employees. Like I look like such a weirdo right now.
Yeah.
Or going on the date with the blow up doll. That's a rough one.
That was rough. It's like you're talking to that doll and everyone's like, what are they doing?
Here we go. Turn back up. Anthony Richardson. You're concerned, but he's got so much upside. I can't not take him right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Week 14 be a bloodbath for me, though.
Yeah. Are you scared about his injuries with Richardson?
Yes, terrified.
Oh.
But he's got so much upside, like I can't not pick him.
I feel you.
Like I don't love Prescott in fantasy. I like Joe Burrow, but like I don't know he's going to be coming off the knee injury. Is he going to be rusty coming back? I rather just go with the young guy who's only played in 4 games, but it was an electric 4 games we saw him in, and he does have that dual threat ability. I do like in my fantasy quarterback, so we'll see what we get here. But we'll definitely need to draft a solid backup quarterback just in case.
Would you consider Prescott? You know what? I can't ask that. We'll find out what you decide to do. There's still plenty of quarterbacks there to draft, though. So, yeah, I think for me, Richardson definitely scares me. Obviously, last year, it was a promising rookie season for him before he got hurt. So hopefully he just stays healthy, man, and we'll see what happens with the Colts. Definitely, I have my doubts about them, but hey, they can always prove me wrong. As Devontae Smith and Jordan Love go off the board here.
That was one of the backups I had was.
Darn. Love was a bit overpaid, though, and that's what kind of scares. I don't know why it does, but I don't know. I just feel like he was overpaid, and that's no bueno. Alrighty, let's see. What am I thinking? 30 seconds left. So plenty of receivers. Do I go? I think because one of his teammates is missing the first 4 games of the year, Levis has to throw to somebody. I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley. Even when DeAndre Hopkins comes back, both Hopkins and Ridley will be the top receivers for Tennessee. And especially with his first 4 weeks, I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley here at wide receiver. Trying to load up on my receivers here. All right, Brian, what are you thinking?
So I'm torn between 2. I mean, I'm taking a lot of gambles. This player is banged up right now.
Oof.
He's coming off not banged up. He's gone through practice on Monday.
Okay.
Looks like he's ready to go for game time. I'd be kicking myself if I don't pick him up. Jalen Waddle.
Okay. No, that was actually my between him and Ridley. For me, the injury never really scared me. It's just a matter of like I don't know. I was thinking about DeAndre Hopkins missing the week 1, I think, for Tennessee. So Waddle's a great pick, honestly. Tyreek and him are the best receivers on the team. I know they got Odell, but even Odell's missing like since the start of the season too. So great pick. No doubts about that whatsoever. Joe Burrow goes off the board here for Ernie. Isaac's back up for round 8. We'll see what he decides to go with here. Yeah, I think for me, when I go back to the last place punishment stuff, I feel like I could handle the McDonald's stuff. So is it everything that you eat minus an hour, or how does that?
I've seen it kind of vary.
Okay.
I saw one which is really cool. Is they made a spreadsheet and they put the entire McDonald's menu on it. And like, okay, if you eat a Big Mac, that's an hour and a half. If you have a French fry, that's a half hour. Like it was like coordinated with what you eat took off a certain amount of time. But majority I've seen is for every burger you eat, you lose an hour.
Oh shoot. But that's like a lot of burgers.
Yeah. So think about it, 12 McDonald's burgers and your half your sentence is gone. Do you really want to eat 12 McDonald's burgers?
I would probably not eat anything for like a day and a half, and then I'd be like,
yeah.
Let's see. If I pretty sure I won't come in last place, but God forbid. But we'll see. We'll see what the punishment is, and whoever comes last.
We got to figure that out still.
Oh yeah, 100%.
A collective decision. We'll announce that on the pod.
And true. And of course, our viewers and listeners, you guys can recommend stuff for us as well.
Yes.
Let's see. So Aaron Jones and Terry McLaurin go off the board here. Josh is up with about 16 seconds left. Got a text message in our group chat from Easy saying Nate took my absolute favorite Amon-Ra and I'm sick. Hey man, I love Amon-Ra. He's so consistent, and this Jared Goff loves throwing to him. I know they have Laporte and everything. Jameson Williams, I definitely expect a breakout year from him as well. But Amon-Ra is the leading guy, and he's expected to get about like 100 targets plus, no doubt, in my opinion. So definitely had to get my guy. I love Amon-Ra to death, the sun god himself. T. Higgins,
the sun
god. So T. Higgins goes to Josh, and we'll see what Day Drinkers goes with here with about 30 seconds left. Still definitely a lot of great players on the board. Your thoughts? I want to get your thoughts on it because he might be off the board by the time we come around, Brian. Your thoughts on Ramondre Stevenson? Because I know New England's backfield, he is the leading guy, 100%. I think Antonio Gibson is there as well in New England. But with the Patriots offense looking very lackluster as it is, do you expect Stevenson to be good from a fantasy perspective, or do you feel like his performance will be kind of struggling?
I think Stevenson is good if you want just like a flex option bench starter, because I think he's going to rack up a lot of yards. The problem is I don't think he's going to get the red zone touches needed to be a starting running back. I think it's going to go to Gibson. He's going to hand the ball to him and just kind of bulldoze his way for 3 or 4 yards. Love Stevenson a lot. I've drafted him the past couple seasons. He's been a very big performer for me, but I think this year might stay back from, unless the value is great. Unless he kind of falls down these boards here and is like 2 or 3 rounds from now. Right now, I think I might steer clear.
As you know, speaking of him, he goes off the board to Epstein's Young Hoku. So definitely
Epstein's Young Hoku.
What a name, man! I tell you,
that's incredible. That's incredible.
I don't know who has that team. I gotta find out. I don't know whose team is that.
Okay, I want to rule that guy. Whoever he is, if he comes in last place, he's excused from a punishment because that's an incredible name.
Oh, Jesus. Kyle Pitts and George Pickens goes after him. So Brian, you're up, buddy, in round 9 here. Who are we thinking, bud, to select?
And one more flex option open. Start aiming for the bench, though.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick up Zamir White.
Zamir White. Dang it, that was my pick. Shit. Well, your thoughts on Zamir White? Why'd you decide to go with him?
I think there's so many problems with that Raiders offense. I think they're going to look to the run game more, which is to give Zamir White more touches and get him more yards and more touchdowns.
Okay.
Nice plug and play kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't blame you, buddy. I don't blame you at all. All right. I should go running back, but I'm a load up on my receivers because I can. Deontay Johnson, Bryce Young. He has to throw to somebody, and Deontay Johnson is that guy. He was traded from Pittsburgh, and I think we can all agree that he needed a fresh start. And he gets one in Carolina. So I'm gonna go Deontay Johnson.
Oh yeah. Get him out of Pittsburgh. They're so weird over there right now, and it still is pretty weird with Wilson and Fields. And get Bryce Young someone nice you can throw to. I think both of them will have bounce back seasons.
Mm-hmm. Is it good to have that 2 quarterback issue? Because I know that people will say 2 quarterbacks is better than none, but is it a good thing?
It's not, because if you have 2 quarterbacks, it doesn't mean you have one. That means you have 2 guys, and neither one of them is good enough to outplay the other one. So it just caused, there's some exceptions like, Joe Montana and Steve Young. Okay, you had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. But most of the time, it's like Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, and a guy that's kind of been a bust in the league versus a guy that's kind of washed up. Like, it's kind of like which one is, neither one of these is great situation, but it's which one is not going to be as bad as the other.
Exactly. So as you're up as well, I decided to go with Javonte Williams. Honestly, I understand. I think there were some issues with Denver's backfield this season in terms of who's going to start, but he's arguably the best one out of the bunch. So I decided to go with Javonte. Yeah. You went with Keenan Allen. That was one guy I really like heading to this season. Your thoughts on Keenan Allen? Why'd you went with him?
I love Keenan Allen. I know he didn't have a great season last year. He's kind of getting older, but he's going to be Caleb Williams, probably number 1 target for the Bears. A young quarterback. They like to find that chemistry with the receiver early. I think Keenan Allen can be that guy and be a really good flex option for you.
Gotcha. They have some weapons in there in Chicago. As Easy stops by and says, "Hi, what's up, my guy? Your team looks pretty good, my guy, Easy. It looks pretty
Yeah, it
good.
looks really good. It looks really good.
Love it, man. You got Jordan Love, ETN, Rashad White, Nakua, Adams, Laporta, Mixon, Devontae Smith, Tank Dell, and Jaden Reed so far on your team. So solid picks by you, my guy. So good luck the rest of the way. Glad you're in the league, man, and glad you stopped by. I appreciate you as always. So yeah, after Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin's off the board. David Montgomery, definitely a pick that I personally like as well. Jahmyr Gibbs, he is going to be healthy to start week 1. But Montgomery and Gibbs are just a 1-2 backfield that last year, from what we saw, they even each other out in terms of carries and touchdowns and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do. The one thing that's curious about David Montgomery is when is it going to be Gibbs' time to take over? Because we all know it's coming.
Yeah, just a matter of when, right? And we don't.
It's the one thing keeping me away. Like, as an early season option, like you got a bunch of guys with early bye weeks, and David Montgomery can kind of still be there. I like it, but if you're expecting a whole season, you might want to rethink going after Montgomery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after Montgomery, I believe, so Christian Watson was off the board. Keon Coleman, one of my favorite rookie receivers. I mean, I really hope he and Josh Allen kind of built that fast report start the season, because I know they have Khalil Shakir, I know they have Curtis Samuel, but in my opinion, Coleman feels like the most likely to be Stephon Diggs' the Stephon Diggs replacement, basically, in Buffalo. Yeah. So, and he has a heck of a personality. Yeah, heck of a personality, by the way. Keon Coleman does. Remember the draft video about the golf situation? That was hilarious. I love it. But yeah, Najee is off the board to round off round 10. We head to round 11 now. So we got 8 rounds left. We got, 7 bench spots and a kicker and defensive spot as well. So we'll see what happens.
When do you draft your kicker and defense normally?
Oh, definitely. Last 2 rounds. 100%.
Last 2 rounds? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, but my buddy the other day was explaining he's got a strategy where he picks, let's say we're doing a 15 rounds. Round 13, he'll pick a kicker or a defense. So it guarantees him the pick of the litter for any bench player he wants in the later rounds because everyone's going to be going after kicker and tight defense at that point. I'm like, that's actually like pretty good logic. Like, it's not something I would do, but definitely not the worst idea I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, my strategy for defenses heading into this season, it's going to be streaming a lot. I'm definitely going to hit the waiver wire a lot. Matchups matter to me, as to all of us, of course. But I'm banking on matchups helping me with my fantasy defense and kicker. Like honestly, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So
You
let's
can get
see.
anyone at that point.
Exactly.
Like,
Easy
is it
says,
nice to have Justin Tucker? Sure, but like,
yeah,
it's
but
not
there's
going to make
other
or break your
kickers.
season.
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
other kickers. Easy says you took Amon-Ra, hurt my soul. I'm sorry, I had to get my guy, man. And then Brian, you took Jefferson, and that also hurt as well.
Sorry, I gotta pick. If got Jefferson sitting in front of me, that's like that's like putting a bag of Skittles in front of a 3-year-old and telling him not to eat it.
He wasn't gonna fall that far. Let's be honest. Jefferson was gonna fall that far. Let's see. Okay, so Odunze, Eckler, Rogers, Worthy, and James Conner are off the board. As Brian, you're up here in round 11.
Thinking the guy I share a name with, spelled right and everything.
Remember when he came out to Many Men, or how the song goes? When he walked out the tunnel for his first game after he got shot. What a guy, man!
Yeah, just a great human being. I think I know he's got Austin Eckler in front of him, but I really think he could make a big step forward this year in the sophomore campaign. He looked really well after the gunshot wound, and he said he wasn't even playing 100%. This is the first season we're going to see him since college playing 100%, and I'm excited to see him.
100%. Yeah, I think I will say, if you had to choose, would you choose Brian Robinson or Austin Eckler to be your RB1 in Washington?
Have to go Austin Eckler to start the season because he was just so good for so long. You did sign him for that contract. Like, I feel like you have to at least give him a shot at it, like a fair chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for Eckler, it's like we all know he was brought in to be that pass catching back. That's what he was in Los Angeles, and he was complaining about he got too many carries or whatever that issue was. But you know what? At least he has a running mate now with Brian Robinson in Washington, so we'll see what happens there. So Singletary, that's our homer pick. Devin Singletary goes off the board to Easy, followed by Brian Thomas Jr., another promising rookie running back there. What do I want to go with? I'm probably thinking running back, but I don't know who. It's just I will go with. I'm gonna go with Tony Pollard. Jalen Warren was like, but I don't know because Najee's still there, and
yeah,
I don't know. I decided to go with my guy Tony Pollard. So
makes sense.
Brian, you went with Jacoby Myers.
I think Jacoby Myers is one of the more underrated players in the game. I know he's with Vegas. The quarterback situation's a mess right now. But if you watch him in New England, he was Mac Jones' number one target, and he made Mac Jones look really, really good. And I take back everything I said about FC Jung Hoku as he takes a defense in the 12th round. You're no longer excused for the punishment if you come in last.
Do you see any logic behind it? Maybe,
is he a Browns fan?
I don't know. I really don't. I honestly, I don't know who has that team. Like, I gotta look into that, but kind of a bit early to go defense, but I guess so, man. I guess so. So yeah, after you went with Myers, Njoku's off the board, Kyler's off the board, the Browns defense, and then DeAndre Hopkins. Definitely a homer pick there by my guy Josh, as he's a Titans fan himself. So Hopkins will, I think, likely miss week 1. I don't know about the weeks after, but hopefully he's healthy soon because that Tennessee offense, if everyone's healthy, in my opinion, they are loaded, dude. That defense they have at Tennessee too. They're a sleeper team for sure.
They are. No, they are. They've gotten a lot better. Like, I kind of take back some things I said by AFC South preview with them. It's all in Will Levis right now. It's all in Will Levis to make this team good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. He has the weapons around him, obviously, and a new coach in Brian Callahan, and I just, to me, the sky's the limit for them for sure. They may obviously not win the AFC South, but they will be one of the top wildcard teams if everything goes to plan. As Day Drinkers ends with Christian Kirk for round 12. We have about 7 rounds left here, and we're in round 13 now. We'll see what he goes with Nick Chubb. So
Great pick.
obviously, Nick Chubb will miss the first few weeks of the season. He will be on
4 weeks. He's guaranteed 4 weeks. He should be okay after that, but we don't know.
Yeah, Jerome Ford will take over there as an RB1 for Cleveland, but definitely a someone to put on the IR. This league does have 2 IR spots, so if, for example, as Day Drinkers went with Nick Chubb, putting them on the IR list, and you can grab someone else off of waivers. So solid selection there.
Run on kickers right now in the 13th round. What's going on?
Why are we going kickers? Did the kicker defense conversation that we just discussed not scare you guys? I don't know. Butker went. Yeah. Aubrey went to Epstein Young Ho Koo. I'm definitely waiting on kicker. Oh, so Justin Tucker's off the board. Wow. I mean, you guys really going
Tucker, Bucker, and Brad Aubrey all gone.
My goodness. Jalen Warren is off the board now. Who are you going to go with, Brian? I assume you're not going to go kicker just yet.
No, I'm going to secure quarterback. I'm going to get Brock Purdy.
Okay. Dang it.
Get a nice, reliable backup in case, things go wrong with Richardson. I got someone I trust in the backfield. And I know it's going to put up decent points.
All right. Fair enough.
But I stole your pick.
I know. That was my guy. Yeah, I'm gonna go someone exciting. I know he's our division rival, but he is an exciting dual threat quarterback. I'm gonna go with Jaden Daniels. I mean, he's a rookie, I understand, but just the excitement for him about him, in my opinion.
Had I not picked Anthony Richardson, it was gonna be Jaden Daniels, my backup quarterback, without question. He is gonna be so. I think he's the best. I know it's hard to say about Caleb Williams. Jaden Daniels, I think he's the best quarterback in this class.
Oh, even though Caleb does have weapons, but that may not mean anything if you can't.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen the Bears. Name me one good quarterback the Bears have developed. What is it fair to say that Jay Cutler is the best quarterback the Bears have ever had? Besides black and white football.
Yeah, for him, you could argue about that. Yeah,
pretty challenger Rex Grossman.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time for these guys. I was gonna go 20 seconds left. I don't know. Oh God, this is terrible. Oh no. I'll go with Jordan Addison, man. I was like,
a smart pick. It's a good pickup.
He's like but definitely a last resort receiver to put in my lineup. Hopefully I don't have to, because they have Justin Jefferson and it's Sam Darnold, even though his job really isn't that hard to get the ball to Jefferson.
Yeah.
I don't. That was more of like a rush pick, in my opinion. But who are we thinking here, Brian? 30 seconds left.
I don't know. I don't really love anything here.
I know. Like, a lot of concerns with these guys in the late rounds, for sure. I'll
take the gamble and hope Tajay Spears is as good as advertised and will get the touches now that he's now kind of like the running back 1A.
Okay, yeah.
But he's a bench option. We'll see.
Do you like the 1-2 punch they have in Tennessee with the running backs, or do you feel like one of them should kind of dominate over the other in terms of starting?
1-2 punch, because I don't think Pollard has what it takes to be a running back 1 to be a bell cow in an offense. We saw it just last year when it was the Dallas's RB1 and completely fell flat in his face. So I think he needs kind of like that partner in crime, and I think Tajay Spears is still young enough that he kind of needs someone along to help him develop. So maybe a couple of years in a different conversation, but I think for right now it's perfect.
Okay. Let's see. So after Tajay Spears, Lat McConkey goes off the board. Jerome Ford, who will start for Cleveland, is off the board as well. Brock Bowers and Raheem Mostert as we're approaching the end of round 14. So you have 3 bench spots left. For those who didn't draft a kicker just yet.
Smart people.
Yeah, I guess so. 2 rounds up round 14 as we head to round 15 now. Yeah, I mean, as you guys can see, for those on YouTube, a lot of guys with like questionable marks, a lot of outmarks as well. Marquise Brown for the Chiefs is not expected to play in week 1 whatsoever. It's 2 days away. So he's going to be out. Jonathan Brooks is on the PUP list for Carolina. So Chuba Hubbard will likely take over as the RB1 for the Panthers. But I think for me, Brooks is a promising back. He was the first back off the board in the draft this past year.
Yeah.
And with Carolina's lack of weapons, I don't know. I gotta
Especially
say,
with the IR spot, it's not a bad idea to just take him and stick him on the IR spot and just see what happens.
kind of just wait on him and see. Kind of an investment, basically.
Exactly. It's like I know this stock doesn't look good right now, but give it a few weeks. It'll grow.
Yeah. And I think, especially in the late rounds, to investments in guys that either hurt or guys as handcuff running backs in case their starter goes out. That's kind of what the late rounds are for. As day drinkers took my advice, going with Chuba Hubbard, as he will likely be the lead back unless Miles Sanders comes out of nowhere, but I don't expect that to happen. But Hubbard will likely be the RB1 until Brooks comes back. So a great pick there. Mike Williams off the board, Chase Brown, and the Raiders defense. Sure, man. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Why not? At this point, we're drafting kickers and defense as early as heck. Might as well. Zeke's off the board
now.
All
right, I'm going to shock everyone right now.
Oh, what are we doing? Wow. Well, you don't have a tight end. That's why, didn't it? Is that the reason why?
Tight end.
That makes sense.
Perfect in that role. TJ Hawkinson, I don't love taking multiple, positions, especially receivers. So I'll still stick with Goddard.
Yeah, I chose Hawkinson. I was hoping you didn't get him, and thank God you didn't. I'm banking on him being ready to go and healthy once he comes back from the IR. And when healthy, he is one of the best tight ends in the league. So,
without question.
Khalil Shakir is off the board now. Blake Corum. Dang it!
Yeah, Blake Corum's a good one.
That's a good one. Gosh, darn it. Okay. Shit. That was my guy. I'm gonna go get me another running back because I should. I'm gonna go with. I might as well go. I'm gonna go with Trey Benson, man. James Conner is gonna get hurt at some point this year, and when that happens, Trey Benson will be one of the best running backs from a fantasy perspective. When that happens, so I'm gonna go with Benson.
Yeah, you're right. And he's probably the second best running back taken in the class. So
yeah, that's true. If not the best, depending on how Brooks turns out. Corum, yeah, I don't know. Benson seems like you went with Jalen Polk. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Why'd you go with Jalen Polk?
The Patriots, they need someone to step up in the passing game, and Polk was kind of overshadowed by on Doomsday in Washington. Maybe it's a similar situation with how Justin Jefferson was overshadowed by Jamar Chase and LSU. I'm not saying that going to be the next Justin Jefferson. I'm just saying he might be someone we overlooked, and he's actually going to be pretty good as a wide receiver, especially in a place that needs a wide receiver one like New England.
Okay. So Zach Moss off the board, J.K. Dobbins off the board. Jonathan Brooks is out as well. So, I guess he doesn't fall to me, I guess. So good investment there by FC Younghoku to get Brooks and the weight on him. Definitely has the talent to be one of the best running backs from a fantasy perspective. And since he's a rookie as well, promising career there. Ravens defense goes off the board. Yeah, Baltimore's defense is a scary bunch. They are definitely a scary bunch over there. As we are approaching the end of round 16. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I got to get my defense and kicker eventually, but I do have one more bench spot left. Despite the fact this is an 8-team league, despite the fact that we did have 3 flex spots, there will still be a lot of quality players in the waiver wire. So, for the guys,
it's just the nature of 8-team leagues.
Yeah, if I had any advice for the guys in here, don't worry about it. There's going to be plenty of quality guys on the waiver wire. As Jameson Williams is off the board now. I love me some Jameson. I hope he does break out this year. I really do. He's a speedster.
Yeah.
He's a speedster. Let's see. All right. So he's back on the board clock for round 17. Let's see who he goes with. Marquise Brown, Lockett, Gus Edwards, Justin Herbert still out there. Usually Herbert's not available this late, but because of the uncertainty with the Chargers receiving room and the backfield, I don't blame our
No.
members for not getting him. I kind of feel bad for him, Herbert. I really do, man. He lost a lot of people. Like all of his weapons are just gone. Eckler.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because I feel like people give him like Trevor Lawrence treatment, like how he has a big contract, never prove anything. But
Mm,
he's also never had anything to prove with.
yeah.
Look at his supporting cast.
Imagine if he got drafted by the Giants. Oh, we would not have this issue right now with the quarterback position.
Could you imagine Malik Nabers and Justin Herbert as a wide
Ooh,
receiver combination?
that'd be so good. Can we trade for him, Chargers? I'm just kidding. They're
And
pretty.
you know what? I'm just doing revisionist history in my head right now. If we were to draft Justin, actually, we wouldn't get Andrew Thomas unless Herbert came out a year earlier, so we
Mhm.
wouldn't have gotten Daniel Jones. So
Uh,
I'm gonna do that. That one makes me happier.
Tyler, let's see. Marquise Brown and Tyler Lockett are off the board now. Yeah, I'm thinking about just doing that one final bench spot and then focus on defensive kicker from there. We'll see. Joshua Palmer. If anyone's going to shine from that Chargers receiving room, it's going to be Josh Palmer. Has experience as a leading receiver for the Chargers a year before. And if anyone's going to shine, it's going to be him. So good
Yeah.
pick there. Gus Edwards, him and J.K. Dobbins, former Ravens, they're now on the Chargers now. So they can't even get away from each other because they both play the same position. So we'll see who comes out of that as the RB1 there in Los Angeles. Tyler Algier goes off the board by you. Why'd you go with Algier? Because you do have Bijan. The Falcons have Bijan, but you believe in
Yeah,
Algier.
I just like Adoree. I don't know what it is. I've always liked him. I liked him when they drafted him. I thought he was an underrated guy. I think he's gonna get nice touches to be kind of a streamlined, flex position. No one crazy, but just if you're gonna bot a pinch and you need someone to go in there, I think Algier's your guy.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, clock is ticking. Clock is ticking. Should I? Screw it. I'll go with the San Francisco Niners defense. Don't let me down, boys. I never draft defense, quote unquote, early. I usually, like I said, I'm focused on streaming defenses, but
Mm-hmm.
it is, and I don't know. It's gonna be hard for me to drop the Niners defense this year. It really will. Like they really have to suck for me to be like, all right, I'm gonna drop you guys.
Yeah, I'm done with this.
Let's see. So Herbert's off the board now. Cowboys defense goes off the board as well. You know what? I'm gonna follow your friend's advice. I'm gonna go with my defense kicker, get out of the way, and have the pick of the litter for my last bench.
Shout out Anthony. Let's
Yeah,
go.
man, Anthony, that's a solid strategy by your friend. But kicker, who do I go with? Kicker. Shoot. I don't know. I'm gonna go Dicker the kicker, man.
Damn it!
Let's go!
I like him because his name is funny.
Oh, imagine we do a trade.
I'll go little brother here.
Ooh. Oh, the Jets defense. Let's see. Looks like Nook is playing around. What? Hopkins is playing week 1. Oh crap. Well, good for the Titans, man. Let's see. Brian. Yeah,
The Titans. Good for them.
Agreed, Brian. I think Polk could be the better pro receiver for the. Yeah. I don't know. Personally, I just feel like New England's offense just sucks. But
they do.
Yeah, they do. To just put it nicely, man.
Yes, they do.
They're bad, but Dylan Polk, honestly, definitely promising. Honestly, if May was a starter, he and Polk could create a solid chemistry because Jacoby Brissett's there. Yeah, not too promising over there in New England because honestly, Brissett looked like crap in the preseason, and they still want to start him. Patriots, I guess you want to suck this year, man. No, that's on you guys. I'm just saying. Respect to all the Patriots fans out there, but
okay, they had 20 years of dominance. All right, they deserve a few down seasons.
Yeah, but don't they want to win? Like, Brissett isn't the way to go.
They've won 6 Super Bowls in this century.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh wow, yeah, definitely a lot of promising guys on the waiver wire. Holy crap! I'm surprised. Yeah, none of us got Giants players. Well,
Yeah,
Malik was the only one that was like worth
yeah.
drafting.
Like, maybe Wandale Robinson or Hyatt can be a waiver wire guy, but outside of that, nothing really there.
Daniel Jones. I'm just kidding. No. We'd
I
be.
mean, like, he could be a streamlined starter.
He would have to do a lot, like
He will
a
have to do a lot.
lot to consider. Like even one good performance would not be enough for someone in our
No,
league.
I'm talking about like he's gonna have like 8 straight weeks of constantly putting up 15 or more fantasy points to be considered. Like, okay, maybe this is an option.
Exactly. Let's see. So last round now. Thank goodness. Let's see. We got Jake Elliott off the board in round 19 here. Tyler Conklin, Zach Charbonnet, Trey Tucker, Greg Zerling, with Evan McPherson. Not a bad kickers, but honestly, I was gonna say we could trade kicker for kicker since he won Dicker so much, but I'm gonna lie, that Chargers offense sucks so much that the points they're gonna score is gonna be kickers. Field goals from their kickers. So
yeah.
I don't know. I got do I go backup quarterback? So many options. Oh, he's still there. All right, Mr. Goff. Cal represent.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good solid back. He was a backup quarterback I was considering.
Just like I said, so many guys gonna be on the waivers. And we had the draft comes in. Jake Moody is off the board in round 19. So let's before we head off, let's look at our teams real quick. For me, Hurts, Jonathan Taylor, Achane, Amon-Ra, Mike Evans, Kelsey, Flowers, Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Niners defense, Cameron Dicker, and then my backups is Javonte. Yeah, pretty solid draft. By me, what about your team, Brian?
At the AI ranking right now. I got third. You got first.
Let's go. Wait. I want to see the AI rankings.
Go on League Home and scroll down.
Oh, perfect. Right here. Oh, power rankings. Is this it? No. Okay. Let's see. So looking at all right. So it's me, Day Drinkers, you, Ernie. Surprising is auto picked. Epstein's Young Ho Koo, Easy, our guy Isaac, and Josh are the 1 through 8. This may not mean anything by the time the draft season ends, but in terms of promise for our teams, I feel pretty good. Like I think my team, I'll take it. But look, it's gonna be a fun year. This is the first time we're doing a league for the podcast with you in it as well, Brian. So best of luck. I don't know the schedule in terms of when we play each other, but definitely gonna be a
next
fun.
Week.
No,
next week.
Son of a.
Yeah.
Could they wait till later? I don't play right now. No. So yeah, we'll do fancy some fancy breakdowns throughout the season. Check on our teams and whatnot. But in terms of week 1, it's going to be Isaac versus Easy, Ernie versus Robert. Oh, so Robert's the one with the Day Drinkers team. Okay. I got Epstein's Young Ho Koo, and then you have my guy Josh to start week 1. So definitely going to be a fun fantasy league, fantasy year for the both of us and for everyone else in the league. So congrats to our members for getting the guys that they wanted, hopefully, and best of luck to you guys as well, and best of luck as well to you as well, Brian. And let's see what happens here. But that'll wrap things up here. We've gone quite a while, but obviously fancy drafts will do that to you. Later this week will be another episode for you folks as well. We'll break down the Giants versus the Vikings. Week 1 is finally here, and we'll be busting out those century red uniforms.
You see the helmets in practice today. The helmets didn't look bad on the players. I will give it that. I'm like, okay, I kind of like the helmet.
If they wear the helmet more in the season, that's fine. But I get the whole matching thing.
I got to see the red jersey on the field. Maybe I'll like it on the field. Maybe I will. Maybe it'll look better on a player scoring touchdowns.
It's just the pants. Pants look like crap. They literally look like crap, but I digress. So we'll wrap things up here. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We appreciate you guys. As always, follow us on YouTube at Nate Productions, and then check out our podcast or this episode wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Until the next one, we'll see you guys then.